Welcome to Carter's Retro Reviews. I was hanging out with my brother the other day and I said to him, hey, you know what we should do? We should put together your computer. It's been a while and I've been meaning to get around to it. And he went, yeah! This is a bad thing that I went there first, isn't it? And I went, yeah. I think he meant to go, yeah, but he went. Oh, God.
Light, darkness, good, evil. Two forces battle for the ultimate power. As the city of luminicity mourns the unleashing its enormous powers. The power of the crystal has transformed Baron Dark into a living skeleton. The heroic Prince Justin has now become Prince Lightstar, the only mortal with enough power to battle Baron Dark and destroy his skeleton warriors.
Before I flood you with self-important opinion like it matters, let's get the facts out of the way. This game was on both the PlayStation and Sega Saturn. This game comes from the CBS cartoon of the same name, which was on TV from 1993 to 1994. Here's what you've been missing out on.
In here, quickly! Oh no!
This is new.
Bad morning to you. Think we're about to be fresh squeezed. I've got an idea.
That's one more than I've got. That was your idea?
Part A, Part B's your territory. Ready?
Oh, gotcha! We better find Guardian and Grimskull before that... whatever it is down there gives up Dark and his boys.
And the part I don't get is how a TV show that had one season made for it gets a game for it. I mean, yeah, okay, it potentially lends itself to a good game, but there were plenty of other shows out there that could have been turned into a video game and were not. So what makes this series so fucking special? I don't need to take a dump just yet, so this is where I try to explain what I think of the game, and you're just gonna have to bear with me. People seem to hate this game, or at the very least do not care for it. Actually, I would argue that hating a game is less brutal than playing it and forgetting about it. At least if you hate it, it's in the temporal lobe of your brain and it stayed with you. It's like watching a Christmas film starring Tim Allen. You walk away from the movie pretty angry, but after about 10 minutes, you forget all about it and move on with your life. Now, if you've ever had this displeasure of watching the movie Testosterone, which I will argue is the worst film I've ever seen, beating Plan 9 from Outer Space and X vs. Sever by a long shot. It makes The Hottie and the Noddy seem like Tom Putnam's magnum opus, which makes Testosterone a success in a very strange way. It's a movie I've not forgotten and it's not left me. Where I'm going with this is this game, to most people, could easily fall by the wayside. It could easily be forgotten about. But this game is going to stick with me. People will ask me what I thought of that game, Skeleton Warriors on the Saturn, and I'll reply with, wait, what was that game again? No. I will say that this game is good, and that I remember it like it was yesterday. I mean, okay, yesterday was pretty hazy. I barely remember what I did this morning. If it wasn't my usual pattern of having breakfast, fapping, and going back to sleep, I wouldn't have remembered what I did this morning either. Since I gave you the facts, here's some opinion. I'm pro-gay marriage, I'm anti-guns, jerking off is amazing, and a right. Okay, the last one was less opinion and more fact, but I don't know how to feel about this game. I played it for a few hours and I found I was progressing every time, but there is one massive gripe about the game. Where the fuck is the save point? Is the game short, or did you just casually forget to leave this out? Because I would have loved to have saved my progress about level 3 or 4 once I was doing really well. But instead of having to start from the beginning, I could have started where I last saved. How about them apples? I was frustrated like a virgin teen who didn't know how to sell his massive cock to the ladies. On top of this frustration, I found that those fucking dogs were annoying as hell. They remind me of those two-headed pig dogs and Altered Beast. The controls are responsive and the sound is good. Not great, just good. Other people thought it was really great, but I didn't. Initially, I thought the loading screens looked like total dog's bollocks, but as the levels progressed, it seemed to fit in with the theme, whatever the fuck that was. It was repetitive, but I didn't seem to mind so much because I found I was progressing, and I always find that to be a big thing whenever you're grinding or you're playing any sort of dungeon crawler. If you feel some progression is being made, and your weapons and ability in the game are getting better, and you're getting close to the end, then it makes you want to keep going instead of putting down the controller and telling the game to go fuck itself. Now I need to tell you that the character you play doesn't get any better, but in this instance, I feel like it doesn't need to be. He's plenty responsive enough and the enemies seem to be defeatable. What I will mention is the use of the block button. I didn't see how the use of the block really became all that relevant within the game. The use of the jump? Absolutely. Blocking? Not really. You stop and block something and it either won't block in time or it just stops the flow of gameplay. I mean, okay, won't block in time? That's my fault. But stopping the flow of gameplay? It just does not seem right. I just learnt how to get better and not rely on it so much. I also feel that a good ending to a dungeon crawler or any game where there's vicious amounts of grinding is immensely satisfying. Makes all those hours you wasted worthwhile, but I also argue too, what is wasted time? If you enjoyed yourself, is that time not wasted? Do you feel like you get more out of life by doing large hikes perhaps? Maybe you like to do that too in your spare time. Maybe a little dungeon crawling for a few hours and then a huge hike the next day. I don't know, I don't run your life. It says on the front cover of the Skeleton Warriors box that it looks better than anything currently available on any next-gen platform, according to GameFan. I didn't even know that was a publication. Could it just be a fan of the game? But even though it looks pretty good, it certainly does not look better than anything out. That is complete bullshit. This came out in 1996 and there were plenty of nicer looking games on both the PlayStation and Sega Saturn by this point. One of the biggest gripes I've heard from other people is that, and this is where the big difference of opinion will come in, is that the game is boring. I've played my fair share of boring games and I don't feel like it really is. I played games where I couldn't give a shit or just yawned, maybe put down the controller and just walked away. But I want to keep getting better at this game. I mean, it's no Sonic or even Rayman by comparison. Would I recommend this game? I think so. It's not a strong recommendation, and even the save feature would have made this game a lot better than what it was. But it's certainly not as dreadful, like some people will tell you. As always, thank you very much for watching. Click on the TV to see the last review, and click on the name underneath the television if you'd like to subscribe.